I'm Justin Mott, and welcome to my home here in Hanoi, Vietnam, and welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is something we all deal with as freelancers, not just freelance photographers, but that's what I am, so that's a perspective I'm going to talk about. And this is red flags. You see them, we all see them. I just came off a terrible job where there was a lot of them. And I still chose to do it. And I'm not going to go into specifics because I'm not here to shame anyone. That's not what my channel is about. It's not about venting, a little venting, but it's mainly about growth and education and passing on my knowledge and my over 20 years of experience working as a freelance photographer in order to hopefully help you guys out. And also, if you've seen these red flags or been through something similar, know that you're not alone. So for those of you new here, I've been a professional photographer for 20 years, living here in Vietnam. I've worked with a global client list, shooting everything from solo projects, magazine work, New York Times assignments, all the way to global ad campaigns for massive Fortune 500 companies. So trust me, I've seen it all through my years. I'm the weathered veteran. You can see it in my face. You can see it in the grayness of my beard. So these red flags I'm going to mention today are patterns that I've noticed, and while they're not always deal breakers as a one-off, they're often indicators of bigger issues. So the red flags, here we go. The first one is generic email blast. If you get a general email that doesn't address you personally, it's likely been sent to a bunch of freelancers. This usually means they're shopping for the lowest bidder, not the best person for the job. So factor that in. Number 2 on my list, no mention of a contract. Now, it might not come in the first email, but if it doesn't come at some point before you take the job, that's a red flag. A lack of a contract suggests they don't truly respect freelancers or they don't have a good system in place for working with freelancers. This can lead to a lot of misunderstandings, missed payments, and other issues down the line. Number 3 on my list is no photography guidelines. Now, I'm not saying, again, this is going to come in the first email, but at some point, if they don't have any photography guidelines, it's a sign of poor structure and organization. This will likely extend into the planning, the shooting, and even possibly the payment process later on. Number 4 on my list is not having a pre-production meeting of some sorts. It doesn't have to be a meeting with 100 people that lasts a few hours, and sometimes I understand there are last-minute jobs, but a quick call or a meeting is essential to clarify expectations from their creative department, from you as the freelancer. Now, of course, some companies go overboard with too many meetings where a simple email could have done the job. However, just a quick call also creates a personal relationship with people as well. It shows they might want to care about you personally. Once they put a face to an email, people tend to be a little bit nicer. So without a pre-production meeting, this just leads to bad communication, often creative mishap. You might have thought they wanted it one way and they wanted another. Communication is key on all relationships, personal and work relationships. So no pre-production meeting is a huge red flag. The next red flag is that everything feels rushed. We need you to go shoot tomorrow. We need this done by the end of the week. We only have this amount of time. Unless it's breaking news or in extreme circumstances, rushing around last minute is typically a sign of disorganization. This often translates into undervaluing your time and effort. Number 6 on my list is no mention of usage or budget. If they don't bring up usage rights or budget, it's a red flag. And it suggests they probably don't understand what goes into a photo shoot and probably don't respect or value your work or time as well. The next red flag on my list, and this is just for any relationship, it's a lack of basic manners. Pay attention to people's tone, even their tone in their emails. There's no excuse anymore for lack of manners. You can write into ChatGPT like, I'm a terrible person, make it sound like I'm a nice person. So if they're telling you instead of asking you, or if basic courtesies are left out like please, thank yous, and sorry, it's a sign of disrespect, and that's unlikely to change if people are like that, and that's likely to carry on throughout the shoot, and people that don't tend to have good manners are going to continue to not have good manners, and probably that's going to be exaggerated if things go wrong, and things are more likely to go wrong in my experience if all those other red flags are compounded as well. So something to think about. And so I'm not saying not to take on any of these jobs, and if I didn't take on jobs that didn't have any of these red flags, I wouldn't have worked a lot in my career. And also, I'm at a stage in my career now where I don't have to accept as many of these red flags. I don't have to accept working with people that I don't want to work with. I know that's not the case for everyone. I totally understand that and respect that. So what my advice would be is to prepare yourself. Be mentally and physically prepared. So if you're seeing a lot of these red flags and you decide to take on the job, expect lack of communication and poor planning. Cover your bases. And how do you do that? Well, build in extra time for delays, whether that be your expectation of the time you're going to get paid, how long it takes to plan, how long it takes to shoot things, how long it takes to organize the shoot additional coverage that they didn't ask for to protect yourself. Cover your butt. Another thing you can do is document everything. This is important. Don't rely on a phone call where someone said, oh, this is what I want you to use. Only natural light, no lighting. No. Don't put everything in writing. Get it in a message. Get it in an email. Even if something was very clear on the phone, you don't know how that was communicated up the ladder, down the ladder, off to the side of the ladder, whatever. Get everything in writing. Clarify things. Make people commit to their word. Don't leave things up for interpretation. If anything is unclear, make it clear. And don't be afraid to politely suggest better ways of doing things after the shoot. While this has occasionally backfired on me, it recently did. Meaning like the person got really upset that I politely suggested some better ways that we could work together. That's also okay. It's usually a sign that those clients aren't worth working with long term. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is because I'm telling you guys this because my client that I just shot for might look at this and say, oh, damn, he won't work with us anymore. Like, yeah, I probably won't. If they don't change their attitude, if they don't change the way that they do things, no, not worth it for me. Will it be worth it for you? You have to make that decision. Remember, being right doesn't always matter in the world of corporate culture. More often than not, freelancers are the scapegoats. People at the company aren't going to have your back. So if someone told you one thing, you said, oh no, so and so told me this. Most likely they're not going to have your back. And I get it. They have to work with each other. There's a hierarchy there. There's probably a bad corporate culture if they're waving these red flags. So you're going to be the scapegoat. So prepare for that. Do your best, like I said, by documenting everything, preparing yourself, and trying to open up lines of clear communication, even if that's not their style and how they do things. That's it for today, guys. If you've experienced similar situations, share your stories in the comments section. Let's help each other navigate this wild freelance world. Don't forget to check out my online store at askmott.com. I've got a variety of one-on-one classes and mentorship programs for anyone out there that wants help with their photography business, to amateurs that just want to improve their photography. It's open to all levels of photographers interested in all genres and to anyone in the world. So check all that out at askmott.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to have a wonderful day. That felt good. And ranting sometimes does feel good.